to the thrilling world of the Flying Runr, brought to you by the Marathon Mates.
Hey there, it's Tony here from the Flying Runr, and welcome to Out and Back. Out and Back, the turnaround point for your weekly running journey. Now, sometimes after a little festive indulgence, it's a little hard to get back into training and running consistently. Trust me, if you're in that space, you are not alone. We've all been there. Now, today I'm talking about how to get back into the groove of running after the Christmas season without guilt, without burnout, and without plenty of motivation. But let's be real for a moment. Christmas is hands down one of the best times of the year. We've got family, we've got friends, we've got food, lots of food, and often a couple of little drinks along the journey. And maybe you ran a little, maybe you didn't, and maybe, just maybe, you've spent the last 2 weeks perfecting your indulgence ratio. You know, how much Netflix can you watch to how much food consumed? And there's no judgment here because we've all been there. But now that the calendar is flipped and we're back into a brand new year, it's time to shake off the holiday cobwebs. So how do we ease back into a running routine, maybe even if we don't feel like it, without feeling overwhelmed or like you're starting from scratch? Because sometimes it can feel like that, can't it? But here's my take. First, we want to start with being slow and setting realistic expectations. You can't go back into the mode most people can't go back into the mode of the distances that you were training prior to your last race. So we're not competing with our pre-Christmas self. If you took some time off, that's great. But if getting back into training, your legs might feel heavy and your pace will certainly be a little slower, and that's okay. Think of your first couple of runs back as your reintroduction runs, not long distances, no tempo runs, no guilt. Start with short, easy runs, 20, 30 minutes max at a conversational pace. Your goal is to wake up your muscles and remind yourself why you fell in love with running in the first place. For me, Sharon and I maintained motivation during prior to Christmas and during Christmas by doing the Big Kahuna virtual marathon linked to the Honolulu Marathon. But since then, I've purposely slowed down. Now, we have another exciting year ahead, and I don't want to burn out too early. So at the moment, I do feel heavy and slow. And can I tell you that 6.5K I did on Saturday felt hard. Felt hard. But I'm glad I got out there. I have to trust the process of just being a bit slow to get back into the groove, to start my training towards the back end of January. And you should trust the process too. Step 2 is to build consistency before intensity. This is a mistake many runners will make. Now, if you're anything like me, you might feel tempted to jump back into full-on training plans. Stop. Take a breath. Instead of diving back into speed intervals or long runs, focus on being consistent. Focus on consistency. Commit to 3 or 4 shorter runs a week rather than overloading yourself. This will help you build momentum without overdoing it. Remember, consistency is the secret sauce behind every great runner. And here's a tip. Here's a bonus tip. Plan your runs like you do your appointments. Put them in a calendar. Set reminders. Treat them like non-negotiables. The way smartwatches are nowadays, or running watches, you can set your time. You can set alarms, calendar, timer, reminders, all in there. Once you've made your first post-Christmas run happen, the next one certainly does get easier. But help yourself set those reminders. And step number 3 is really about finding your why. Christmas often comes with lots of distractions, good ones mostly, but distractions nonetheless. Now is the perfect time to reconnect with your goals for 2025. Are you training for an autumn race? Are you training for a spring race? Are you training for a mid-year race? What is it that you're training for? Is it simply just running to clear your mind? Is it simply running for your own mental health? Or do you just run for the joy of it, for the simple joy of it? Whatever your why is, write it down and reconnect to it. And say it out loud before each and every run. Often, I've got to say it out loud in my runs. But at the very least, you want to be saying and reminding yourself and reconnecting with your why prior to every run. Reaffirming your purpose will often reignite your motivation. For me, my why or my purpose is always evolving. You may know that I'm chasing some Gold Coast Marathon as a goal race for me. I really want to set a new PB in the marathon in that particular race. But then for the remainder of the year, it's just enjoying the joy of running with my wife. So that's my why. They're 2 different whys, 2 different purposes, 2 different training regimes, but I'm connected. And that's why I want to be doing what it is that I've got to do. I always find that after Christmas, it's about resetting your mind and your body for the year ahead. And of course, shaking off those couple of extra kilograms that we all seem to have put on. And just as a bonus tip, along the way, celebrate your small wins. Did you get out for your run as planned? High five yourself. Well done. Do a happy dance. Whatever it looks like for you, make it happen. Did you make it for the full distance? So if you planned a 2K run or a 3K run or a 5K run, did you make it happen and did you stay running the whole way? Or whatever your strategy may be. You may be a walk runner, you may be a jeffer. But did you maintain your strategy for what you wanted to do? That's awesome. Happy dance. Go for it. Did you resist the urge to stay in bed? Yep, that's a victory too. So every step forward counts. And let's celebrate all of those small wins, because every small win is going to add up to some big progress. So there you have it. 3 simple steps to get you back into running after Christmas. Start slow, focus on consistency, and reconnect with your why. And above all, remember this: running is a gift. It's not a punishment for enjoying yourself over the holidays. It's a celebration of what our bodies can do. Remember, there are so many people that can't run. So it is a gift. So lace up and just get out there. Just make it happen. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like our podcast, please subscribe wherever you're tuned in and leave a review, as it really does help others find us. Watch out for our next full episode coming out this Friday, where I believe we're talking about running superstitions. Do you have one? Well, tune in and see if yours is one of ours. Until then, I hope to see you out there. Happy running.